Cat Neville from Feast Magazine, ladies and gentlemen. She's the publisher. Good morning, Cat Neville.
And I didn't know you could sing.
I can't. I was in Kansas City over the weekend.
I heard you went to the World Series games.
I did go to a couple of World Series games.
Where did you eat?
We ate at a couple of different places. A couple of barbecue places were so packed, so we went to a couple of other places. Mm-hmm. But I must tell you that we went to this nice burger place where they had a burger, and I wish I would have remembered the name, but the burger was cooked on an individualized barbecue cup.
What?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It was like it was a cast iron cup with a wood handle.
Okay.
And they served the burger on top.
So do you have to flip it out yourself onto a bun?
They take it off of the individualized barbecue grill and put it on a bun and put it on your plate. It was really
Where was that?
It was somewhere on the Kansas City on the Missouri side of Kansas City. I'll get the name for it. But
yeah, dude, that's funky.
But what's interesting is, so I was with some people from Kansas City, and there was a Feast magazine there. So I pull out the Feast magazine, and every week you have your little letter to the editor type of deal. Yep. And she has all the different things Feast does. And on the bottom it says, tune in to Cat Neville on the McGraw Show weekdays, Wednesdays on the Big 550 KTRS.
Yeah.
So I know it's there. So I turned to my buddies. I'm like, oh, look at this. I'm mentioned in a Kansas City paper. And they were so angry. They're like, you're the worst. Yeah. So I schooled them a little bit, but I was very appreciative.
Bragging a little?
I was bragging a little. I wasn't bragging a little. I was bragging a lot. It was actually quite funny. I'll get you the name of that restaurant, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give us a couple of restaurants.
Okay. So I have two really neat new spots. And so the first one, there's not a lot of Taiwanese food in St. Louis.
Right.
And there is a relatively new, I think it's only about 2 months old, Taiwanese restaurant. Not to be confused with Thai. Thai is Thailand. Mm-hmm. Taiwan is a country. It's a small island off of the coast of China.
Yes.
And it's tiny. And
actually, they're meeting for the first time in like 50 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is a big deal because China and Taiwan don't recognize each other.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it's a kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Well, their food is it's influenced by each other.
I could see that.
And so this spot, it's called Tai Key, Taike, 2 separate words, 8604 Olive Boulevard in U City. And now when you get to 8604, let me just tell you, from a directional standpoint,
yes,
it's confusing because it's actually behind what your GPS will tell you is 8604.
All right.
So you're going to have to turn right on North McKnight and then kind of pull behind.
All right.
That's just an FYI. So anyway, the food is great. It is a small, very casual place. And they have, so in Taiwan, they're very well known for their kind of like night market street eats. And so there is a small portion of the menu at Tai Key that has that. And one of my favorites that I had was this small Taiwanese sausage with sticky rice, and it is delicious. And the sticky rice is cooked, and it is very dense, and it's cooked essentially in a casing and split open almost like a bun, and then this very small kind of almost red sausage is served on top and it's drizzled with this sweet and spicy sauce. It is delicious. It is a slightly dried sausage, and it has a wonderful porky flavor, but it is that kind of sweet and has those wonderful kind of warming spices. It's really, really good.
So the rice is kind of like the bun?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's I tweeted out a picture this morning. So if you take a look, it's really really cute. They have these plates of sizzling beef. Although in Taiwan, the beef noodle soup is a very widely eaten dish, but they don't eat a lot of beef in Taiwan. It's more pork and seafood and tofu and rice and veggies. But they do have at Tai Key, they have a sizzling beef platter or a sizzling tofu platter, both of which really do come to the table sizzling. And
I didn't know you could cook tofu. Will you stop? Please, really?
No, Dad. Come on.
Really? Come on.
Okay. Anyway, so it comes to the table, and it's just like these billowing clouds of steam, and it's delicious, and it's almost like comfort food. It's not really highly spicy. They do have a few spicy dishes on the menu, but it's kind of like. The Taiwanese food has a great deal of influence from China, but also from Japan, because the Japanese occupied the country for a number of years. And so it does have that kind of more subtle flavor of Japanese food. Anyway, they also have this ma pao tofu, which does have a wonderful spice to it. It has some ground pork, and I had a really distinct flavor of cardamom. It was really, really good. And then they also do a compressed tofu on their kind of appetizers list, where it's braised in soy sauce and served with just a little bit of scallion. It's really good stuff.
Thai Key,
Yeah.
8604 Olive in U City.
Yep.
All right, what's number 2?
Number 2 is, have you heard of Holly Berry Catering Company?
I have heard of Holly Berry
Yes.
Catering Company.
So Holly Cunningham is the owner, and she's fantastic. She recently opened up Nourish, which is located on Manchester Road at 10037 Manchester. And so Nourish by Holly Berry is a lunch spot. They're open until 7, but they don't really serve dinner in quotation marks. It's a wonderful cafe, and it's charming, but then they also have a grab and go section. And so what Holly is really known for, she has great catering, but she also does a lot of just really lovely and fresh food, very approachable. And so the cafe, they have shareable snacks like this honey goat cheese, which when I had it, I was like, Holly, this is kind of like dessert. Because it's this really mild goat cheese that's blended with some candied walnuts and dried cranberries and drizzled with honey. Yummy. Really wonderful, super fresh salads. I really liked the Cobb, which had like an egg salad on it, and then also cherry tomatoes, blue cheese, pickled red onion, some maple bacon, and beautiful presentation. These massive sandwiches. The one that I liked the most was this pulled pork that had melted brie on top of it.
Oh my God.
So good. There's a kids menu available. And then in the grab and go section, what she has are like everyday eats, and then also kind of more like foodie focused things. But she has it where you can take it straight from the freezer and just stick it in your oven.
Oh.
And so the idea is that it's meant for the family. And so, for example, when you get her mac and cheese, and she said this to me when I was chatting with her, she was like, if all you want is just a pan of mac and cheese, you can get that from the grocery store, like Stouffer's or something. But here, what she does is she blends in things like butternut squash, how people are trying to do these hidden vegetables for their kids and that kind of stuff.
Fool their kids.
Exactly. And so she has also a gluten-free meatball, where a lot of meatballs include breadcrumbs, but this one has kale and other kind of veggies mixed in. The flavor is terrific. And so it's something where it's very family-friendly, weeknight, meal where you just can't possibly get it on the table, but really, really great stuff. Pulled pork enchiladas, coffee and cranberry pork loin, all that kind of good stuff.
Nourish on Manchester, 10037 Manchester.
Yes.
Nourish. I got 30 seconds. What's going on with Feast?
Well, we have the brand new issue out. The November issue, if you can believe that, is out on the streets. And Feast TV will debut on Saturday on Channel 9 on the 9 Network. And we take you to the American Royal. And so we follow 3 different teams. The American Royal is the World Series of Barbecue. And we follow 3 different teams through their experience of competing in the American Royal. One from St. Louis, one from KC, and one from mid-Missouri. And so that's really a lot of fun.
That's great TV.
Thank you.
And that's right before the hour of power with all the woodworking shows. So
course,
I got my
you would know.
Saturday afternoon planned. Feastmagazine.com for all the information. Kat Neville, have a good week.
Thank you.
848, Big 550, KTRS.